And now, let me welcome Mr. Cameron. Hi.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Cameron, now, you have been a single parent.
Very well.
Tell us your story.
Well, my wife and I, before she died, we grew together.
Mm-hmm.
We were from the same community. We were from the same community, and we, grew up in the same church, actually the same home. And we grew up, always playing this thing we call Dolly House. Mm-hmm. And she was always the mother.
Yes.
And I was always the father. And, we grew up, but we, I found it very strange that we were thinking alike. Mm-hmm. We didn't believe in beating we had the trees, the tamarind trees and the mango trees as our children.
I see.
And we didn't believe in beating the trees because we always saw when the other kids beat the tree, the barks become sore and started stripping, and we thought that it's hurting the tree, and it's just like you would hurt the tree, you would hurt other people. So we didn't believe in flogging. So we went apart when we reached. I got to England when I was about, say, 21.
Yes.
And there I met her again.
She migrated before you?
Yes, she did.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
And there I met her again, and, we rekindled the love that we had.
Did you communicate while you were both away?
No. We just met each other, after so many years.
Okay.
And it was lovely. We started having children. We rekindled the love. We got married. We started having children, and so forth. And she got ill, and while she was ill, I realized the fact that she had been there for her children, and they really appreciated that.
Yes.
And I didn't know the real meaning of being a father. I was there supporting or making sure that they had food on the table and everything, but I was always away working.
Uh-huh.
And until she got ill and couldn't able to manage, I have to take up all the responsibilities. And I lift my hat to all women who are single parents. I sometimes wonder if I was a runaway father, how would I have felt? Sometimes I think maybe a runaway father is feeling a lot better because he hasn't got all this stress and to take the children to supermarket and for clothing and for back to school and trying to get your child into a school. I was like going crazy. This is not happening to me. But then the unconditional love that I have for my children helped to push me through. And, nothing beats the love of God.
That's right.
I am a bishop in the church.
Yes.
I grow my children in the love of God. And I believe that, every person, every child should have love.
Marvelous. We'll just take a little break there, and we'll continue. Pat?
Yes.
Okay. This is a rather touching story, is it not?
Yes, it is.
It is rather touching.
Very touching story. Very touching story.
We'll be developing this as we go through, but right now let's take a song.
Son, my son, mere words can't say just what is in my heart. Son, my son, it's time for you to be upon your own. You must find your place in life, or you'll be left alone. Son, my son, son, my son, take my advice, find a wife at home. Son, my son, don't wait too late. Life isn't very long. Time stands still for no one. It just moves on and on, son by son. There are those, I am sure, who have told you that living alone can be a joy. Just remember that joy can be found in the heart of a woman when she gives you a baby boy. Son, my son, maybe someday you'll realize you're wrong. Son, my son, I hope I live to see you get along. Look down that lonely road, my son, before you travel on, son by son. Look down that lonely road. Look down the lonely road.
Just to remind you that you're listening to Just Talking Love. We're broadcasting from News Talk 93 FM, right here on the beautiful campus of the University of the West Indies. We're looking this evening at single parenting, indeed, single fathers. And we are discussing with our guest here, Mr. Brian Cameron, his life's experience as a single dad. We have in line from Orlando, Mrs. Barker. Hi, Mrs. Barker. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good. Mr. Cameron, let me hear now some of the challenges that you face being a single father.
Well, first of all, some of the challenges that I really faced is with other parents. Quite a lot of when I just started, quite a lot of parents didn't really trust the fact that a father, a man, could really take care of. Well, I had two girls, my two daughters, and quite a few people didn't really believe that I could have made it, taking care of my girls. And quite a lot of them wanted me to fail. But after they realized that, I got it there, I find people from my next door neighbors started asking me to keep their children. I started becoming a babysitter. People started coming to my house from next door asking, Mr. Cameron, can you keep my daughter until I come back from school? Or can I have to go to work and my daughter will be coming home early and I will be late. So could you keep my child for me? And I'm like, okay, all right.
It's obvious you're doing a very good job, was it?
Exactly. But then what I find though, I sort of my kids' mother, she wouldn't spoil them in a sense. I would take them to Mega Mart and we would go shopping, and I would spend $15,000 on groceries that they picked up. That was Friday. By Sunday, I have to send to the shop to get rice and flour and chicken because I didn't buy any at the supermarket. Because the girls took what they wanted. I had two girls. One of them didn't like one sort of cornflakes and the other didn't like that sort. So I end up having to buy 3 different kind of cornflakes at home because I only had the Raisin brand. So it was that sort of. And then when I go out with the girls, I go to church, people would always, be looking, making sure that they're okay. Especially when we go to church, I would have the mothers of the church, the sisters of the church, would have just take them away and take them for lunch and, take care of them for the day while I'm on the pulpit, If I'm going away, I would have somebody who will be taking care of them, until I get back and so forth. And, I'm finding it very, very hopeful these days.
These days?
Yes. I've had some very challenging difficulties, not knowing the real parenting.
Yes.
But I've learned. And I'm learning.
Let's hear about some of the difficulties, because I think a lot of the fathers out there need to know that these difficulties exist.
Yes.
And obviously they would like to know how to handle it, you see.
Exactly. Especially, I have a daughter who I sent to the library.
Yes.
She came home with a icky on her cheek. And when I asked, what's going on here? She looks at me, she said, Dad, is this modern days? And that's my daughter. And I didn't know how to deal with that. Yes. I had to speak with my next door neighbor who is a mature female. And she was like, you mad? For you whop the girl? And I was like, no. No. I don't need to swap the girl. And, I sat her down and I talked to her, and I tried to show her the love. And I said, and she just explained to me that one of her schoolmates just saw her in the mall and just placed one on her. And I'm like, okay, he wants to get you in trouble. Don't allow this to happen again,
Right. Pat, is this sort of thing prevalent over in London?
It is not. You don't see kids walking around with it. But I am sure it happens with the young people.
Yes.
Because you see them in the mall, walking, hugging, going out to lunch, going out to dinner. So I am sure it happens, but it is not prominent on their faces. You cannot see it.
Yes, it's somewhat concealed.
It is concealed, but I am sure it happens.
Oh, definitely. One of the things we've got to look at this afternoon as well is how to cope with the adolescents, children. You see, once they're small, when they're small, it's probably a bit easier to cope with.
Definitely.
But once they've reached the adolescence age, there are lots of challenges that we never thought.
Yes, puberty.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we've got to cope with that. We've got to really learn how to handle it,
Right. By communicating with them, by saying to them, this is how life is. This is going to happen to you along the way.
That's right.
But what you need to do is to take care of the issues. Talk about it. Let us talk about it if something is bothering you. If you're not clear on a matter, let us discuss it. The communication between a parent and a child is so important.
There's another problem too, The parent themselves, especially a single parent, are they really prepared mentally and emotionally to cope with this sort of challenge? Were you, Mr.
No, I weren't.
You weren't.
I weren't. I was just ready to be a parent who was really needed.
Right.
The mother died, and to me, all that I grew up with a single parent, my mother alone. I up to this day, I'm not quite sure who is my father, but nevertheless, I grew up knowing my mother alone to be the father and the mother of the family.
Yes.
So, in my family, I left my wife to just deal with the situation. But until she become ill, and now that she's dead, it has given me the realization that I should have been there from the beginning. I should have been standing up as a father.
You've missed out on quite a lot.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I wonder how many fathers out there would like to share their experiences in this regard.